Hi, I'm Zarina Matcha, and you are watching Non-Feminist Gal. Here are 5 key hypocrisies of the contemporary feminist movement. Number 1, equality. Feminism claims to be about gender equality, yet specifically looks at women's issues and gender issues from a women as oppressed, men as oppressor state. Furthermore, it offers little to no solution for men's issues such as fathers' custody rights, male prison rape, male domestic abuse shelters or lack thereof, men being less likely to attend university than women, or the psychological crisis of incels who have no sexual confidence and are struggling to even communicate with women. Feminism usually only looks at one side of the coin when it comes to gender issues. It seeks to achieve equality by focusing entirely on the problems of women rather than on the problems facing men as well. Feminism claims that patriarchy has historically oppressed women, without realizing that women under patriarchy are typically protected and provided for by husbands and fathers, and that men have been expected to carry these financial burdens. By the way, I'm not saying that patriarchal societies are a good thing, nor am I discounting the challenges that they come with for women. I'm simply stating that patriarchy comes with pros and cons for men and women, and is rarely as simplistic as being an oppressive system for women which benefits men, as feminism claims it to be. I recommend reading The Myth of Male Power by Dr. Warren Farrell to understand how patriarchal societies have been historically built on the disposability of men and the protection of women. True equality would be looking at how these pressures can be lifted for both men and women, not just for women. Number 2, sexual objectification. Feminism claims that women should be sexually liberated, which I personally agree with, as I believe that everyone has the right to sexual agency over their own body. However, when women in pop culture and the media freely express their sexuality, some feminists complain that these women are being sexually objectified, rather than seeing these women as sexually empowered grown women with agency over their bodies. Moreover, anything which involves women freely expressing their sexuality, such as working at Hooters, partaking in beauty pageants, or being paid through pin-up girls, is classed as the male gaze or patriarchal oppression by these feminists. Even Iceland, the most feminist country in the world, banned strip clubs despite priding itself on being a sexually liberated country. Banning strip clubs, porn, and prostitution sounds like the opposite of sexual liberation to me. It sounds puritanical and prudish. Number 3, choice. Feminism says that women should have the right to choose regarding an abortion, which they absolutely should. However, it doesn't want women to be able to choose to become prostitutes, porn stars, Trump supporters, pro-lifers, housewives, or even anti-feminists. Surely if feminism is about giving women choice, then it should also include the choice to not call yourself a feminist. I can support gender equality and female empowerment without aligning myself with feminist lobbyist groups. Number 4, female independence. Feminism wants women to be independent, yet instead of encouraging female responsibility, it expects men to take the blame for women's poor choices. An example of this is regretting drunken sex. Now, I want to stress that actual, genuine rape does occur, and that is far from okay. And any man who takes advantage of a blackout, drunk, paralytic woman and has sex with her absolutely deserves to go to prison. However, there is a big difference between a paralytic woman who is taken advantage of and a woman who gets a little drunk and has a consensual one-night stand or hookup with a man. If a woman regrets or dislikes a sexual encounter, feminism should empower her to not do that again and to write it off as a poor, reckless experience. That is what men are expected to do. Believe it or not, men can feel like shit after sexual encounters as well. Feminism turns women into victims in situations where we are not victims and blames men for women's poor choices. Again, being taken advantage of while blackout drunk is not the same as 2 people consenting to a drunken hookup and then regretting it the next morning. Feminism should empower us to become independent, rational women rather than blaming the patriarchy. Number 5, toxic masculinity. The day toxic masculinity stops being a thing is the day women stop being attracted to allegedly toxic masculine traits. The romance genre, which is predominantly written and read by women, is swarming with men who embody traditionally masculine traits. Cowboys, firefighters, pirates, surgeons, vampires, billionaires, military veterans. Why aren't romance authors writing books about hypersensitive men who ask women every second where she wants to be kissed and touched and don't try to instigate any sexual moves on her? Why is 50 Shades of Grey one of the highest selling books of all time with a male protagonist who is the pinnacle of toxic masculine traits and is beloved by women worldwide? Why won't feminists acknowledge female psychology and desire rather than tirelessly blaming everything on men and the patriarchy? Men respond to what women find attractive. If women were attracted to men who cried all the time and baked cookies, then those would be the male heroes in romance novels. But what do you think of this list? Is feminism hypocritical? Can you think of any other feminist hypocrisies? Let me know below. Thanks for watching.